Have you ever been in a house that's so nice, you start regretting your grandparents' career decisions? Grandad, what are you thinking? Mining, are you thick? Bitcoin mining, maybe, but coal, nah.
It's tough because when you have teenagers, you know that they get to a certain age and they start to think that they're cool and that you're not, which is a phenomenon because you raised them. You've known them their whole lives and you know they're not cool at all. And you know that you are, and yet you gotta listen to them like, oh, Dad, you're so out of it. Dad, you don't get it. Dad, you don't know how to download. It's like, hey, you don't know me, motherfucker. You don't know who I was. I used to be very cool. You know when I stopped being cool? When you two assholes were born. Before that, very cool. Way cooler than you will ever be. You know why you won't be as cool as I was? Because you're not being raised by an abusive, alcoholic parent. That's why. And that can change.
Last time I was here, I was doing a show in Minneapolis. A dude after the show came up and he offered to split a Viagra with me. I want to make this very clear. At no point during the show did I imply I needed a Viagra. You know how kind you have to be to walk up to a stranger and be like, you want to go halves on a boner? I'm not going to use the whole thing. I figure you can get in on it. Like, I didn't know if he was like hitting on me or if he just had like a soldier's mind frame, like no man gets left behind. He doesn't get hard, I don't get hard. Weirdly, the kindest thing I've ever experienced. Minnesota's like the only place, like I could go anywhere else in the country and anybody might be like, hey, how you doing? You doing all right? But Minnesota's the only place I've been to where somebody was like, hey, how's your dick doing? Doing all right? Okay, hey, keep me in the loop, I got your back.
It's like you get people like, I'm a Buddhist, not technically practicing, but I believe in Buddhist meditations. I have Christian values, I'm actually a Jew. I believe in reincarnation. I have my own kombucha shop. I run a drum circle on Sundays. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but the birds are cameras. You're just sitting there going, fucking, how long is this haircut gonna take? Fucking hell. You look at Joe Rogan. Like, Joe Rogan is that dude, like, look at that identity. That's a weightlifting, UFC fighting dude who interviews economists and archaeologists, takes psychedelics, believes in UFOs. What the fuck is that? What is that identity that never existed before? Like, remember that dude at the bar who used to be like, oi, what are you fucking looking at, mate? Remember that guy? Yeah, he listens to Rogan now. So now he's like, oi, fasting improves cognitive performance, you fuckhead. And he's on magic mushrooms, so he's fucking, I love you, cunt. I fucking... No, we're all one, bro. We're all fucking one. No, we're all one thing, bro. We're all one consciousness. No, fucking, let's go outside and meditate. Get your friends, we'll fucking meditate. I'll fucking meditate right here, bro. Like, I went to Saturn, bro. Like... He got people that are into UFC into UFOs. That's amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like, dudes getting abducted now, they're like fucking come at me. Like, they want to fight something new. Dudes are getting abducted now. They're like UFC. They're like, yeah, man, I got abducted by a conscious ball of slime. I just fucking boosh, came through at the front. It evaporated into a conscious gas. Doesn't matter if you're a gas or a solid, man. Just be respectful.
I think that women's clothing pockets are so small on purpose. I think they're in cahoots to make you ladies still buy purses. Seriously, what you're supposed to fit in those tiny little jeans pockets? Serious question. Like a single M&M, but not a peanut M&M. 'Cause a peanut M&M is a thick boy. These lady jeans don't got the square footage for the chubby little M&M.
I do take care of myself, I try. I've been trying. I eat a lot of Tums. Tums are very good. I don't know if you've had Tums lately. Last 10 years have been special. It's borderline top 5 candy in the country right now. I give it out on Halloween. It's gotten so good. They just came out with orange cream. I don't know if y'all get the same emails I do, but new flavor just dropped. It's orange cream Tums. Half of them are orange, half of them are cream. And then you can kind of mix and match. That's what Tums does. They let you decide, how strong do you want to go, right? You can go all orange today, live it up. But at some point, you got to go all cream. Is this relatable? What I got a system. I do 2 orange, 1 cream. I put some M&Ms in there, shake it up. It's good. It's tearing me up, but I'm enjoying the ride.
I was a very early adopter of the self-care movement. I'd been dumped, and I decided the best thing to do would be for me to drink a bottle of red, smoke a pack of fags, and do a deep dive onto her Facebook for her and the boy she left me for. Self-care, okay? And I'm just going through the pictures. Just... Oh, it's clearer. And in my drunkenness, I accidentally tagged myself in a picture of her and her new boyfriend as the candle on the table. Like I was Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast, just hey! Remember me? You've ruined my life.
I really do. I love this job. I've been doing this for 14 years. I love this job with all of my heart. I love getting to travel. I love getting to meet people. I've met so many dope people that I never thought I would get to experience stuff with, right? I've also met so many fucking weird people, you guys. So many weird people. And by weird people, I mean Uber drivers. I have met so many weird-ass Uber drivers. And I want to make this very clear. If you drive for Uber, you shouldn't be ashamed. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I have met enough weird Uber drivers that make me go, how the fuck are they hiring for this job? What do they just sit you down and go, how good are you at reading social cues? You're autistic? Let's get you in a car. It's crazy, the stuff I have experienced. I was doing shows in Alabama once, right? For the money, not for the love. I was ready to leave. Just keeping it real, Go into Alabama looking like me. You let me know how long you want to stay. Fucking hated that place. Couldn't wait to leave. I order an Uber after the show. This woman comes to pick me up. True story. I get in her car. She's playing gospel music. Now listen, I ain't hating, but it's not what I prefer to hear. That's all I'm saying. I got no problem with gospel music, but if I had a choice, it's not what I would have chosen to hear. That's all I'm saying. I'm listening to the song. First line I hear this dude say, he goes, Jesus is in the crack house. And I went, change my mind. Turn this up, please. What are we listening to? It's a real song. Look it up. It's called Say His Name. Halfway through it, the dude just goes on up like a panic attack. He's like, Jesus is in the crack house. Listen, I don't know what y'all's relationship is with Jesus, but when I was growing up, he lived in your heart. When did he move to the dope spot? You know what'll catch you really off guard about hearing the lyric, Jesus is in the crack house, in a gospel song? The moment where you have to accept that might be your favorite fucking lyric you've ever heard. That is a rough moment where you're like, I can't really think of a better one. Here's why I like the lyric. It grows on you. I have never heard a lyric that grows on you. Every time you hear a song lyric, you either like it or you don't. This one makes you go, what the fuck? I guess it's fun. I don't know. It grows on you. It's like getting a massage from a guy, you know what I mean? I know what the fuck I just said. I meant it too. It's like getting a massage from a guy. It grows on you. Like, fellas, you've never gone to a masseuse, ordered a massage, the masseuse comes out, it turns out to be a guy, and you're like, I don't know, man, this might be weird. Then by the end of it, you're like, only Greg touches my feet. That was crazy. I'm saying it grows on you like that. You're like, don't judge. You don't know. Don't judge. I'll tell you exactly what it is about this lyric I love. The phrase, Jesus in the crack house, sounds like a perfect replacement for saying, oh my God. I can't stop using it. Every time I see some crazy shit happen, I'm just like, Jesus in the crack house. You see this shit right here? Like, I can't stop doing that. I'm telling you, next chance you get, let one out. You're gonna be like, it feels way better than I thought, man. It is addicting. Here's what I love about it the most. Doesn't even have to be the crack house. As long as it's any place you don't expect to find Jesus, still works. You're gonna have a field day. You can be like, did you hear Queen Latifah's about to box Oprah Winfrey? And you'll be like, Jesus and a Jimmy John's. You shitting me right now? Dude, it works with everything. So listen, I'm getting distracted. The point is, I heard this lyric. And I remember I look at my driver and I go, did he just say Jesus is in the crack house? Swear to God, this chick looks back at me. She goes, yeah. And I went, was that not weird to you? And she goes, no. And I went, how? And she goes, I used to be addicted to drugs. And I went, that's not an answer to this question. But now I have more questions. And then she says, this quote is burned into my brain. I'll never forget this for the rest of my life. She goes, I used to be addicted to drugs. And I learned to stop doing drugs because anytime I smoked weed that was laced, Jesus would come and visit me. And then I said, that's what made you stop? Like, y'all get the point I'm getting there, right? I was like, wait, Jesus would come visit you? And she went, yes. And I went, every time. And she went, yes. And I went, lady, I've never done drugs. That's the best pitch to do drugs I've ever heard in my life. What are we debating right now? You're telling me if I did the drugs, I get to hang out with the most beloved, most desired individual that's ever existed anytime I want on the clock? Yeah, give me the fucking drugs. If I told you, let's keep it real. If I told you that shooting up heroin would let Taylor Swift come hang out with you for 20 minutes, do you have any idea how many random white women would be tweaked out in the streets of every city in this country? With all due respect, there wouldn't be enough white women left to run an HR department. Are you considering the sheer numbers? If Swifties were junkies, oh my God. Shake It Off would be a song about kicking drug addiction. Bro, they'd be out there tapping each other's veins, looking for loose ones. You and me, we got bad blood. You know the fucking song. They're ODing in some alley. Look what you made me do. I'm sorry, I'm fucking around too much.
I thought it'd also be fun to shoot it here since I'm now also a Midwesterner. Thank you. Yeah, I moved to Minnesota last year in the month of January. And that's how you die. 8-month winters are fucking brutal. God. When I hit my 1-year mark of living there, some of my friends were like, oh, how did you celebrate? I was like, oh, I just walked into my bathroom like it was a prison cell and etched one tally. I did learn a lot by moving there then. I learned that God forbid you try using a bidet there in the winter. That water feels like local anesthesia. Did not feel my beehole for 5 months. It's such a weird state. Right when I moved there, I turned on the TV and there were commercials for vacations to Alaska. And that's when I knew I fucked up. I was like, oh, these are broken people. If Alaska is their Cancun. Living in Minnesota and going on vacation to Alaska is like owning a Nissan Sentra and going on vacation and renting a Nissan Sentra. That's the same terrible shit. I moved there to live with my boyfriend, so that's why I did it in January. Because winter sucks and it's better when there's somebody inside you. Thank you, one horny woman. Yeah. I appreciate you. Minnesota was a tough sell, though. I found out also when I got there that they have some of the highest state taxes. I was like, for why? You're cold and expensive? That's like a dog who's ugly and bites. Put it down. Let's get out of here. Skedaddle. And I moved there from Washington, where there are no state taxes. So now anytime my boyfriend tries to start a fight with me, I'm like, oh, let me remind you that being your girlfriend now costs me $38 a day. Your dick is a very expensive toll road. Let me set the thermostat to 72. Fuck off. Let's pick our battles today.
During the whole lockdown, I was trying to exercise, running a lot, and now that I'm 50, like I'm getting injuries, so I gotta start speed walking. You guys know speed walking, right? A lot of immigrant dads speed walk. I don't know if Mexican dad, do Indian dads speed walk? Yeah, speed walking is their thing, all right? My dad, speed walking, for you guys, you know, it's like where like the lower body moves, upper body straight, and there's a lot of just... And they're very angry that this is bullshit. Why did I come to this country? I had to leave my country to come here and walk these streets. This is bullshit. My dad used to speed walk, and he used to take us with him to go speed walking when I was like 8 years old. On a Saturday, I'd be asleep. My dad, come on, wake up, we're gonna go speed walking. I was like, Dad, I'm 8 years old, I'm trying to sleep, we're gonna go speed walking. We'd go out to speed walk. He was twice my size, so he would just walk away from me. And I think that's how immigrant dads spent quality time with their kids. Yeah. They would take you out and walk away because they wanted to tell you that life is hard. Right? They'd be like, come on, son, keep up. There might be a revolution. You have to escape. Let's go. Keep up. This is training for the next revolution. Keep up. And then I realized we weren't there just to speed walk with our dads and our immigrant dads, but also we were their therapists. Yes, because immigrant dads don't go to therapy. They're macho men. I don't care where you're from, Venezuela, Iran, India, Mexico. Immigrant dads don't go to therapy. The kids are the therapists. Once in a while we're walking, my dad would just unload on me. I swear to God. One time I was walking with my dad. Come on, son, keep up. I go, Dad, wait up. Keep up, son. Dad, wait up. Son, come here, son. Your mother, bitch. I go, oh, shit. I think we just had a breakthrough. That was good. Your next session is going to be free. That was really good. It was a different world. Different world. Parenting was different. Like our parents didn't do like birds and the bees. Josefa, did your Indian dad do? No. Didn't even know what it meant. I asked my Persian dad, I go, can you do the birds and the bees? He goes, son, we don't have birds and bees. We have lawyers and doctors. And I hope you be one. You know how I learned about the birds and the bees? This is how I learned. When I was in the 7th grade, my friend David was walking home one day from school. He found 3 grocery bags filled with Playboys, just outside by the garbage. That's how they used to do it back in the day. Then the guy was done, he would pay it forward. Yeah, he was done with his Playboys, he'd leave it outside. He's like, some pervert will find this and make use of it. David came up to me and goes, listen, I got 3 bags of Playboys. You want one? I go, of course I want a bag of Playboys. I took it home. I taught myself the birds and the bees. I was very good at it. Thank you very much. Thank you. But then also having the immigrant entrepreneurial mentality, 6 months later, I took the bag to school and sold it to all the other boys. Made a profit, bought my first house. Thank you very much. Nobody did birds and the bees. Now we got to do birds and bees. I stumbled into the birds and the bees. Who's got young kids here? Who's got young kids? Anybody? There you go. How old are your kids? 12 and 18. There you go. How old are your kids? 17. Did either of you do birds and bees with your kid, the sex talk? Did you do it? You did, right? And you kind of did, right? You were like, here, let me get you started. Right? You're like, here's a man, here's a woman, and here's a magazine. Go figure it out. No, listen, I didn't even mean to. I didn't mean to do the birds and the bees. I stumbled into it because we read books as parents now. We read books. And the book says if your kids ever ask you a question, answer them honestly. That's what you got to do, right? So I was watching when my daughter was 8 and my son was 10. I was watching a TV show with them. First of all, as your boy gets into his teenage years, boys get a little spaced out. Like Dara's a smart guy, but he's a little just, oh. And girls are sharp. You're sharp. My daughter is like CSI, FBI, CIA, all combined. She is paying attention. Guys, we were watching the TV show Blackish. Great show, right? Blackish. First episode of the whole show. I didn't know this was gonna happen. I'm watching with the kids. First scene of the whole show. The father walks in to his high school son's room. He opens the door, and the high school son is about to masturbate. Like he's about to pull his underwear down. The dad opens the door, and he sees it. He goes, oh, and he walks out. And the son goes, oh, and he jumps on the bed. My son doesn't even notice. My son, he's just, oh. My daughter, right away, she goes, what just happened? I go, what just happened? Like, what just happened, like on TV or in the world? In the world? She goes, no, what just happened on TV? And the whole time, I'm like, be honest, be honest, be honest, be honest. I go, okay, baby, this is what happened. This is what happened. I go, okay. What happened was, the kid is in high school, and the father walked in the room, and he was in his underwear, and it was embarrassing, so the father walked out. And she goes, oh, okay. I go, thank God I just dodged a bullet. Very next scene, the father goes into the mother. He goes, hey, I just caught our son playing with himself. Again, my son just, oh. My daughter, she goes, what does that mean? I go, what does that mean? She goes, yeah, what does that mean? I go, what is that? What is that? Okay, be honest, be honest, be honest, be honest. Okay, what that means? I go, okay, playing with it. What that means, playing with it. What that means, playing with yourself. What that means is once in a while, when boys are in high school, they just squeeze their pee-pee, just a little squeeze, just a poo-poo-poo-poo, just a poo-poo-poo-poo, just a little poo-poo-poo-poo, poo-poo-poo-poo. She looked at me like, what the fuck? I go, no, it's just a little, just a poo-poo-poo-poo, just a little poo-poo-poo, just a poo-poo-poo. And then she goes, did you do it? I go, listen, we don't have birds and bees. We have lawyers and doctors. Stop asking questions. Shit. Oh.
I just prefer areas where there's fewer guns. I think you get more fun tough guys there. I went to London, England. And in London, they have no guns. And anyone there could be a tough guy. You could get your ass kicked by a guy with an umbrella and a bowler hat. It might happen. I was there with 8 other Americans. We were there for a work trip. And at the end of the week, to celebrate, we went on a pub crawl. And towards the end of the pub crawl, this tiny little, very drunk British guy had latched onto our group. And at first it was fun. But towards the end of the night, it was clear that he wasn't really picking up on any verbal cues, and he wouldn't stop hassling a couple of the women we were with. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go talk to him. I'll let him know his night's over. I'm a big guy. There's 9 of us. I'll handle it. So I walked over to him and I looked down. And I said, hey, buddy, I think you've had enough to drink. I think it might be time for you to go home. And he looked up at me, and he said, oi, what's that, Porky? I think it's time for you to kiss my ass. And it hurt, because I'd never been cussed at in that accent before. I was like, oh, that's how Paddington talks. But I collected myself, right? I was like, I don't think you heard me. I said it's time for you to go home. And he said, I don't think you heard me. It's time for you to kiss my ass. And that gave me pause. I was like, why is this guy so confident? I know he doesn't have a gun, but is Harry Potter real? Is magic real? Do they still have swords over here? Maybe I misread the situation. Maybe this guy about to pull a sword on me. I don't have a sword. And I didn't want to fight anyway, so I was like, hey, buddy, we're not looking for trouble. And he cut me off. He said, oh, you found trouble, mate. It sounded so cool. For a second, I was like, oh, someone's going to get their ass kicked. Oh, no, it's me. I'm the one. And then he said, right, I'll sort out all 9 of you then. And he took his hand and he reached it into the waistband of his pants. And when he did that, my heart caught in my throat. Because I'm an American. When someone does that here, it means they have a gun. And you've misread the situation drastically. And I thought it was very scary. Also, I thought it was a little bit funny. Even in that moment. Because I was like, you're gonna get shot in London? Flying all the way over here? We make the finest artisanal gun violence in the world back home. This is like a French guy trying champagne for the first time in Madison, Wisconsin. What's going on? But I was terrified. And you learn who you are in those moments. And I was not happy to find out who I am because I looked around at my friends and I swear to God, I thought, boy, I hope he shoots one of them first. That's what I thought, because it's still England. Once he gets one shot off, it's gonna like take him a while to reload. Like. But then, he pulled his hand out of his pants. And he was not holding a gun, but he was holding. And I need you to know that sometimes comedians make stuff up, but this is 100% true. He pulled out a completely full pint of beer. And he'd been moving around. He was active. Not a drop spilled. There's not information I'm not sharing with you, okay? He pulled, maybe his penis is like a monkey tail. He can hold stuff with it. I don't know. But he was holding this beer and he said, shall we? And then he drank the entire thing in one gulp, took the glass and threw it against the wall of the pub, and then started walking towards me and my friends like this. And the 9 of us took off in 9 different directions so fast. It was like he pulled a machine gun. And that's the kind of tough guy we don't have enough of in this country.
Glad to be here in Dallas. I'm glad to be at a comedy club. We're not always. Sometimes we do weird things. Like earlier this year, I did stand up at a lawyers conference in Miami. And yeah, I don't know why either. I don't know, I guess they were like, this guy's got felons in his family. He knows lawyer stuff probably. But so I did this lawyers conference. It was fine because honestly, there was a point in time in my life where I thought I might want to be a lawyer when I grew up because I had somehow got it in my head that lawyer is one of the only white collar jobs you can have when you talk like a racist banjo, right? Like I don't know if it's because of Atticus Finch or Matlock or what it is, but for some reason, people are okay with Southern lawyers. You know what I mean? It's all right to be a Southern lawyer. And I could see myself doing that as a kid. Like, I could see myself walking into court in a seersucker suit, just dabbing the prodigious whiskey sweat from my brow, like, from my grandpappy's handkerchief, you know, setting it down, hitting them with some old-timey nonsense. Like, Your Honor, if you think my client's going to spend one more night in the hoose gal, you crazy as a gravy-covered cat in a barnyard full of bloodhounds, you is. The jury's just like, this guy's too dumb to be duplicitous. I inherently trust this man. Not guilty, right? I could see that, but no, as it turns out, I'm not but a simple giggle monger as things happen. But yeah, I was in Miami in February, and right before that, I did stand up in Phoenix in January. And those two experiences combined led me to developing this new sociological theory I've been working on this year. And my theory is this: I think that the hot sun makes white people go insane. That's what I think. That's what I think happens. Because you think about all the parts of this country where the white people are the craziest, it's where the sun is the hottest, you know? It's like out west, it's Arizona, east of the Mississippi, it's the entire American South, you know? And even within the South, the maxim holds true. The further south you go, the hotter the sun is, the crazier the crackers are, right? Like you start out in Kentucky, Virginia, it's not so bad. You get to Alabama, it's like, ugh, and then you wind up in Florida and they're throwing alligators through drive-through windows and shit. These motherfuckers are crazy. You ain't supposed to be like that. I think it's the hot sun. I do think the hot part is important. I say that because I live in Southern California and like there's plenty of sun out there, but it's not hot for most of the year. For most of the year, it's like sunny and 72. And like the white people in LA, they're delusional, but they're not scary though, right? Like it's a different type of crazy. You know what I mean? But you leave LA, you start driving out east into the desert, they start to turn, man. They do like next thing you know, you're driving by Uncle Shooty's biker shop and Nazi stuff emporium. It's like, oh, this ain't good. Worrisome. I don't even think it has to be prolonged exposure to the hot sun. I think if the sun is hot enough, the effect can be acute in nature. Like, I think white people in the hot sun are like werewolves in the moonlight. Like, it just brings the monster out of us, you know? Like that you could take the most white bread, milk toast data analyst from Kalamazoo, you send him to Las Vegas for a weekend conference. By Sunday, he's standing out in the middle of the strip with his dick out like, fuck you, Sphinx! I bet the house at the roulette table and I don't give a fuck. It fucks us up, man. That's why I'm so worried about this recent trend of like white dude bros sunning their taints and stuff. Like I said, that's a real thing. Fox News talked about Tucker Carlson, did a whole segment on it. It's a real thing. It's a real thing they're doing. They're like purposefully exposing their buttholes and their genitals and their taints and stuff to concentrated UV lights for like power up purposes or something. And nothing good's gonna come out of that, man. Nothing. I'm telling you, take a heavily bearded alpha male going through a divorce, he starts sunning his taint, next thing you know, Proud Boys. That's what happens. That's how the Proud Boys started. It's a problem. I don't think it's just an American problem, though. I think this is a global phenomenon. Like, for example, if you think about like England, right? Like in England, the sun is a myth, right? It's very gray, rainy. And you could say English white people, they've been evil and colonially over the years, but they're not crazy, though. No, they're not. They're very prim, proper, buttoned up. Yes, quite. That's how they are. But you take England, leave it in the hot sun for a couple hundred years, bam, Australia. That's what you get. Australia, a.k.a. the Florida of Oceania. I love Australians. They're a lot of fun, but they're down there fist fighting kangaroos and using the word cunt like a punctuation mark. This shit ain't normal. You ain't supposed to be like that. I think it's the hot. And there's one thing you could bring up to give me some issues with this. You could be like, well, Trae, what about like Russia, right? Russia, they got all them white people, no hot sun, crazy as a shithouse rat. How do you explain that, right? There's a couple ways of looking at that. You could look at that as like, yeah, my theory's dead in the water before we even get started. Or you could look at that as like, what if that's just their baseline, you know? It's like, what if that's just their starting point? Like imagine what might happen if we expose Russia to the hot sun for a while. Like, that's the real danger of climate change right there. We don't all start recycling more. It's going to be Mad Max and Adidas tracksuits in no time.
It's cool being a celebrity. I hang out with other celebrities. One time I was right here in this comedy club, but this woman came up to me. I swear this is real life. She goes, "Hey, Taylor, that's so cool. You're on America's Got Talent. I was also on a reality show." And I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. What show were you on?" And she goes, hoarders? I don't know if you're familiar with the TV program Hoarders, but it's a show about filthy, disgusting people who you prefer mention to you that they were on hoarders before you shake their hands with your hands. I'll be honest though, as disgusted as I was also impressed, equally. Do you know how disgusting you have to be invited to be on hoarders? Like, it's not like, you know, remember the end of Double Dare? When it's like, if you want to be on Double Dare, send a self-addressed stamped envelope to... No. They don't provide this on hoarders. They find you, okay? They hear about you. They smell about you. They find you. This woman was probably sitting in her house one day. Then she heard her phone ring. She heard like the muffled phone ring noise, you know? And then she went to where her phone usually is, and then her 8 cats were on the phone. They weren't like on the phone like, meow, 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 how are you? I'm a cat on a telephone. That's not what I meant. That's funny though. That's not what I meant. I got it, but that's not what I meant. You know, she went to, and her 8 cat, they were all on the phone, you know. She's like, come on guys, get off the phone. We got 2 rings left, come on. Come on, why aren't you moving? And then she's like, oh yeah, they died 3 years ago, I forgot. Because I'm gross and weird, you know? I'm disgusting and weird, you know? So then she scooped off all her dead cats. You know? And she was like, hello? And the guy's like, hi, this is Josh, the producer of Hoarders, the show where we take filthy, disgusting people and we showcase them for the whole world to see how filthy and disgusting they are. Is Barbara available? And she's like, speaking? And he's like, Barbara, I'm so glad we connected. I've been trying to call you for 6 months. You never answered the phone. And she's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so embarrassed. I have my dead cats. They were on the phone. They were like on the phone like, meow, meow, I'm a ghost cat. I'm in heaven. We go to heaven too. It's not just dogs. I'm a cat on the phone that's dead. I'm a ghost cat. But don't worry. They're in the trash now. It's not going to be a problem. And he's like, no, put them back. We'll use it for the show. We love it. This is great. I'm so glad we connected. I understand you've been collecting your toenails since 1972. And you categorize them by color. This made us so happy. We'd love to have you star in the next episode of Hoarders. Here's how the contract works. It'll air for the next 100 years. You'll be paid $0. Everyone you know and love will disown you. And she's like, go on. You get the joke. Okay, You get the joke.
The thing is, right, look, I am a very private person. In my normal life, very, very private. Every morning when I go into Costa, I give a fake name every single time. Don't know why I do that, right? In fact, I've given you a fake name there. I go to Starbucks. I wouldn't be seen dead in a Costa. You kidding me? The name I do give, though, is John Spencer. Now, you don't know this, but I did some research, found out the local area manager of all the Starbucks near me is called John Spencer. That gets you a good cup of coffee. But I lie all the time. I lie to my friends. Like if I'm out at a restaurant and everyone's saying, oh, what are you going to order? What are you going to order? I hate that question. So I lie. Right? I hate that question because I'm like, you're going to find out in 2 minutes. Why are we bothering with finding out this stuff? So I'm like, oh, I don't know, the scallops. And then a big conversation breaks out about the way I'm pronouncing scallops. And then the waiter comes over, I'm like, the steak, please. And my friend's like, what? You said, we had a whole conversation about the way they pronounce scallops, and now you ordered the steak. Are you telling the truth about anything, Stuart? Did you even get here by hot air balloon? I'll never tell. But it's so difficult these days to be truly private because, like, social media, the algorithms know everything about us. They know where we are, what we like, but they're not listening in. Found this out. They're not listening in, and I think that's a shame. That's a shame, right? I want it listening in. Are you kidding me? I'm fucking funny. I don't mind. If you're in the government, who have you got today? Stuart. Oh, you're in for a good day. I don't want them knowing where I am. I'm 39. I go to M&M World way too much. I'm obsessed with that place. If you don't know about M&M World, it is a shop in the middle of London, the most expensive place to have a shop in the entire country, and it is 4 floors, and all it is no one's favourite chocolate. That's all they sell. It has to be a criminal organisation. That is the only explanation. I don't understand it. I'm obsessed. But because of the fact that you're in here with me, your algorithm will now be affected by being here with me. You'll start getting served adverts after the show for gilets. And presumably my algorithm will be affected by being in here with you, and I'll start getting served tickets to a more mainstream comedian. Always hurts when that one gets a laugh. I realised that I was having a problem with privacy when I was sat on a train and I suddenly realised I was panicking because I didn't want people to know I was getting off at the next stop. I thought, that's too private, right? But you know that feeling when you're on the train and you're just sort of minding your own bees, just like, yeah. You know that feeling? You're just minding your own bit, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. You know that feeling, right? Yeah. Sorry, I know what's happened here. Bees. It's short for business. It's not normal length for bees. If any of you are like, oh, I could take bees on a train, trust me. If you take one thing from this show, you cannot take bees on a train. What? Fine, I'll get a taxi. What? Fine, I'll take the hot air balloon. But yeah, I was sitting there just like minding my own bees, just taking it all in. Yeah. And you know that feeling, and then you spot them, right? That person, they're putting on their coat, they're packing away their book, and you think, you fucking mug. It's fucking amateur hour over here. I got the cut of your jib, sunshine. You're getting off at the next stop, you pathetic fucking fuck. Now, I would hate anyone to think those terrible words about me. So I do everything I can to make it look like there is no way I'm getting off at the next stop. I try and look as comfortable as possible. I start taking layers off down to the base gilet. Couple of books out, get a couple of books on the go, right? They're like, oh, this guy's got a lot of reading to do. He's here for a while. And then if that's not working, I'll start a haircut. Yeah. Not on myself. I've got that Play-Doh set, where you force it through the skull and then it comes out. Bloody hell, he's got old fringe to do. He's here for a while. And then just to seal the deal, just in case anyone's on the edge, right, I'll just start a rumour. Classic me. That is classic me. And we all know how rumours work, right? You say something subtle that someone wants to gossip about. So the person next to you hears it, like, oh, I've got to tell everyone. I've got to tell everyone on the carriage. Right? Something subtle just to tease the fact that you might be on the train for a little while longer than they expect. Just something casual. Just be casual, just for them to... Just I am in this for the long haul. That goes around the carriage like wildfire. Of course it does, right? That sort of gossip, you can't let that lie. And then just before the doors close at my stop, I fling everything out. Gilet flapping in the wind, Play-Doh hair going everywhere. I dive out after it. Everyone's like, what? What the hell was that? I don't know. It looked like a really comfortable man. Yeah, I heard rumours he was in it for the long haul. Yeah, I even took a photograph of him just in case someone asked me to design a pamphlet about how comfortable train travel can be. Oh, you're a graphic designer, are you? No, but I harbour ambition. You're human. I'm human. And then they kiss. What are we talking about?
Don't worry, I will explain the testicle. I wasn't just going to put that out there for you guys. Here's why I never got it checked out. I have a 7-day rule. If something hurts on my body, I give it a week. If it still hurts after a week, then I go get it checked out. The problem with this testicle pain is it would last like a day or two, then stop, and then come back a week later, but I'd start my clock over again. And I just realized this year, I've been doing that since 2018. And I told my wife in February about this, and she goes, oh my God, you're getting that checked out immediately. So I tried. I tried to get health insurance in February. And yeah, did you know you can't? Did you know it's unavailable in February? I had no idea. I called like an idiot. I was like, one health insurance, please. And there was a lady on the other end like, what? You missed it. And I was like, the health insurance? She's like, yeah, it's over. And I'm like, why'd you even answer the phone? Like, shouldn't this be a recording? Why are you making me feel worse about this? And she's like, yeah, you didn't see the commercials? It's open enrollment. Open enrollment is from Thanksgiving till the end of January. You missed it. Didn't you see the commercials? And I'm like, yeah, I saw the commercials, but I didn't know there was a hard end to the open enrollment. I thought it was an advertisement. You know, because you know who else has open enrollment specials in the beginning of every new year? Gyms. Every gym in the country around the beginning of the new year is like, hey, $10 a month, get your big asses in here. You can hop on the elliptical. That doesn't mean you can't sign up in February. It just means it's going to cost a little more. And she's like, yeah, well, we meant it. I was like, all right, so what do we do now? She's like, I don't know, call back in November. And I'm like, but my testicle hurts now. And she goes, you don't get it. I'm like, I don't think you get it. I got a dull toothache in my left nut. We got to figure this out. And she goes, you don't get it. And I'm like, you know what? I guess I don't get it. I don't get it. Why? Why are we treating health insurance like a pumpkin spice latte? Make it year round. Yeah. Listen. I thought it was a solid point too, but it didn't help. And I got off the phone and I had to tell Emma, I was like, they're not going to help me. And she just goes, oh my God, what if they have to cut it off? And I was like, why would that be the first thing you say? Why would you even put that in the air when you know I can't make an appointment for 9 more months? Why would you even put that germ of an idea in the atmosphere? And she's like, I don't know, what if? And I'm like, I don't know, what if? And she's like, do they put like a fake one in there? And I'm like, I don't know. I hope they would do that. I hope they wouldn't just let me leave with half a grocery bag. That'd be messed up. I'm pretty sure I'd speak up. I'd be like, come on, man. Just throw a couple quarters in there. Help me out. Don't let me live the rest of my life slightly off balance. Figure this out. And I remember she had a moment. She's like, you know what? I don't care if you have health insurance or not. You're getting this checked out, and you're just going to pay for it out of pocket like an American. And she said it like that because she's from Canada. She's trying to rub it in a little. I'm like, well, what if it's really expensive? And she goes, then you're going to go into debt like an American. So she found me a urologist in Brooklyn, and I'm not making this up for the sake of comedy, but my urologist's name was Dr. Zoltan. And you should have seen the look on my wife's face when she showed me the confirmation email. She's like, and I was like, what have you done? She's like, isn't this great? I'm like, not really. And she's like, why not? I'm like, well, you just took an already awkward conversation and you made it a little weirder. And she's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, what do you mean, what do I mean? How do you think this is gonna go down? You think we're just gonna walk into the room and Zoltan! Hungarian! Anyway, here are my genitals. It's not how this is gonna go. It's gonna be weird. And she goes, it won't be weird. And I was like, I promise you it's gonna be a little weird. And so I remember we're there in the waiting room. I'm waiting to get my name called. And Emma goes, hey, when you get your name called, do you want me to go in there with you? And I'm like, no. Sit out here and wait for me. And she goes, why? Why don't you want me to go in there? And I was like, what? Because it's weird. She goes, no, it's not. You came in with me for my wrist thing. And I was like, yeah, your pants stayed on for the wrist thing. And she goes, so? Why can't I go in there? Don't be immature. I'm like, because it's weird. It's going to make me feel like a little boy going in there with my mother, who's going to stand off to the side and during the exam go, don't forget to tell them about your testicles, sweetheart. And I'm just going to be over there like, thanks, Mom. I didn't forget why we came. And she's like, I would never do that. And she brought up a good point. She goes, you actually need me in there because you don't have a great memory. You're going to forget what that guy says, and I'm going to be a second pair of ears in there. And I'll be like, that's actually a good point. All right, you can come in, but don't say anything. She goes, I don't say anything. I'm just going to be their ears. And I was like, all right, cool. So we're in there. We're waiting for Dr. Zoltan. He eventually comes in. We have our Zoltan Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man moment, you know? And I'm just Hungarian. And he's very nice. He's like, welcome to New York. Hope you're enjoying the city. He's making small talk. He's like, what do you do for a living? I'm like, oh, I'm a comedian. And his eyes lit up a little bit. He's like, whoa, like a stand-up comedian? I'm like, yeah. He's like, that's what you do for a living? I'm like, uh-huh. He's like, that is so cool. And I'm like, you're a doctor. Like, you're doing way good. Like, you're doing amazing. And then, I'm not making this up either, he proceeds to pitch me a TV show idea. Right then and there, he's like, I got an idea for a TV show. And I'm like, what? Yeah, this later. Right now, this. And his idea wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad idea. He's like, wouldn't it be cool if there's a show where you could hear the inner monologues of doctors and patients and then hear what they're actually saying to each other? I'm like, that's funny. I'd watch that. And he's like, right? And I'm like, hell yeah. He's like, right? And I'm like, yeah. And I could tell he wanted something more out of me, so I had to break it to him. I'm like, I'm sorry, Dr. Zoltan, I'm not famous enough to help you with this idea. And I could tell it bummed him out a little bit. He was like, oh, yeah. All right. That's fine. Go ahead and take your pants off. And that was so weird. I've never taken my pants off after disappointing somebody. Like, that's never been the order of events. I've never had someone go, and I'm like, well? And so we're already off to this weird start. So I got my pants down by my ankles. I'm in a good power stance. Feet shoulder width apart, knees slightly bent, ready for anything. And Emma's behind me. She's kind of got a rough view. And doctor's in front of me, worse view. And he's down there giving me the exam. He's just kind of feeling around. He's not milking me, but this is what he was doing. And he's saying all these doctor words that don't mean anything to me. He's just down there muttering. He's like, oh yeah, mm-hmm. Oh yeah, you got a swollen vernacular over there. Oh yeah, that's a swollen vernacular over there. Yep, we got 2 swollen vernaculars. Yeah, and for the record, he's not saying vernacular. It's just the closest I have in my vocabulary to whatever he is saying is vernacular. And the problem is he's just not saying the thing I want him to say. Like, my fear is that it might be cancer, but he's not saying that. He won't answer that. He's just down there like, oh yeah, got a couple vernaculars over here. Got some vernaculars over here. Oh yeah, couple vernaculars. And I remember I had to cut him off. I'm like, Dr. Zoltan. He's like, huh? And I'm like, is it cancer? He's like, oh, no. And I'm like, good, get off me. Like, I don't care what it is now. I was just scared that it was that. Get the hell off of me, Dr. Zoltan. There's money for you on the nightstand. Get off of me. I didn't actually say that part, but I would have been sick, man. And he was like, listen, I'm 95% sure it's not cancer, but we got to make 100% sure. So I got to set you up with a blood test and an ultrasound. And that's when I found out that they even do an ultrasound on that. I had no clue. I thought that was for looking at babies, but apparently they do it on other things. And I showed up that morning, and the ultrasound tech, unfortunately, kind of resembled my mother. Which, if there was anything I could have asked for that day, is please don't look like my mother. And there she was, cheekbones and all. And she was very nice, very professional, but it's awkward. I'm there on this table. It's in the morning. It's cold. There's bright lights. I got my pants down by my ankles. I'm just laying on this bed. She squirts this ultrasound jelly on my situation, and then she's just rubbing a wand on it. And I'm just laying there going, where the hell do I put my arms? You know? I had never thought so hard of where do arms go right now. Because you can't be too relaxed, right? You can't just be like that's uncomfortable for everybody. You can't just be too, and you also can't go behind the head. You can't just, woo! Definitely can't do that. So I went with like a dead cockroach approach. And she's just down there. And I know for a fact ultrasound techs can tell what's good and bad on the screen. I know that. Like, because otherwise, why would they give them a screen, right? Like, if they don't know if it's good or bad, just have them, well, I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully this means something to somebody. Because I asked her, I'm like, how are things looking? And she goes, oh, I'm not allowed to say. That's out of my jurisdiction. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah, the doctor will call you. And I'm like, well, can you give me a hint? And she goes, no, I really can't say anything. I'm like, you don't have to use your words. Just give me a look, you know? Just like a... Or a... Like just... Something so I'm not in my head, you know, until I get this phone call. And she goes, I really can't say anything. You'll find out. The doctor will call you in 2 days. So I had 2 days to be in my head, which is a horrible place to be. 2 days to just be in my head going, what if what he thought was a vernacular was something else? And so the day finally came. Dr. Zoltan called me. We had our moment. Yeah, Zoltan. Yeah, this is Zoltan. And then I just cut him off. I'm like, hey, man, just tell me, is it cancer? And he goes, it's not cancer. Stop thinking that. And I'm like, thank God. And I was like, all right, so what is it? He's like, well, you have 2 swollen vernaculars going to both of your testicles. And he's like, I think that's what's causing you your pain. And I was like, all right, so what can we do about it? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, I think you could use more support. And I was like, what? And he's like, tighter underwear. And I'm like, that's your treatment? You went to school for a decade? And you have like hundreds of thousands of student loan debt? And you just called me and you're like, yeah, Fruit of the Loom ought to do it. And he's like, yeah, I think it might help. And I'm like, all right, you do realize I'm never getting anything checked out ever again, right? And he's like, why do you say that? I'm like, well, I just spent $2,500 to find out $7 could have fixed this issue. Like, if anything's ever wrong with my body, I'm going to assume my clothes are too loose. That's the problem. Oh, no, I don't get migraine headaches. I need a tighter beanie. That's the issue. Hug my cranium.
I know I'm not, like, the most stressed out person in the world, you know, but by a long way. I think I read about the most stressed out person. Works at a vineyard. He's worked there for 15 years, and he loves it. Dream job. But he's been sacked, and he has not dealt with it well. And you can tell he hasn't dealt with it well because I read about this in a national newspaper. Like, if your reaction to losing your job makes it into The Guardian, you've done something pretty fucked up here. The full quote about this man: when he was fired, he emptied 100 bottles of wine in anger. I was like, wow. Imagine how long it would take to stay angry throughout the duration of decorking and emptying 100 bottles of wine. I would pay any amount of money to watch the CCTV footage of him losing his job. Just to see that man losing it immediately, just like, you fucking what? You're sacking me after 15 years? You motherfuckers are gonna regret the day that you sacked me from this. Vineyard! Fucking hell! Has anyone else been let go? She just me? That is absolutely insane. How the fuck am I the only person? How has Julie still got a job? Oh, look at me like that, Julie. When'd you get in this morning? When'd you... 9 o'clock my dickhole you did, Julie. It was 10 o'clock! 10 o'clock every morning, you workside prick! Are there no screw caps in? Fucking hell! Nobody leave! I've got a weirdly specific number in mind. Right, I already get a slight sense in the room. Couple of people going, is he doing 100? That would have been my dream, by the way. I would have come on stage, I would have opened with that joke, do 100, leave. One show, one joke. That's the dream. And I think on a good day, I reckon I could keep that funny to 30 bottles. on a good day, I reckon 50, that's when the walkouts are happening. You're like, we get the joke, we're not happy, we're leaving. I reckon 70 bottles, we're down to a core audience of about 50 people. And they're not happy. They're shouting, they're heckling. Someone throws a beer bottle at me, I catch it, I use it in the mime. They're like... By 80 bottles, I reckon we're down to a core audience of like 20, 25 people. But by 90, the mood would change. And the people who are left would be like, hold on a second. I think he's gonna fucking do this. Come on, Ian! They're calling people back into the gig. He's on 94! His nose is bleeding! Get in here! That was my dream.